In the city of Billings, the city council and several anti-human trafficking groups have proposed an ordinance to regulate massage therapy facilities. Many in the massage therapy community oppose this effort and believes that a better solution can be found. 13 Billings massage therapists were interviewed. 7 are on the committee, and 6 answered a call on the Billings Massage Community Facebook page. Some read their own prepared statements, and all responded to questions. This presentation is their response to the proposed ordinance.
I love my craft and what I do.
This is where my heart belonged and myself. This is my calling in life.
Most massage therapists are women. Their average income puts them in the lower to lower middle class income brackets. A little under half hold a second job, and most are sole proprietors.
Massage therapists are well educated. We are licensed in the state of Montana as well as many of the other states. We are licensed under healthcare in the state of Montana.
I'm considered a healthcare professional.
I file work comp claims.
I provide specialized technique for chronic upper body pain.
And the clients that we see are seeking pain management. We work directly with chiropractors, physical therapists, doctors, referring back and forth.
I have orthopedic surgeons, chiropractors, doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists who will call me and ask me, hey, I need some information, or I have a client with massive scarring, internal scarring and adhesion and mobility loss. What do I do? What would you recommend? I don't feel that the rest of the community in the city see me as that way. They see me as part of the problem and as a prostitute, and I just do massage. It's no big deal. I think this ordinance does have potential to affect how we're perceived in the medical community. I mean, within 2 to 3 weeks, we're getting sexual innuendos, lewd text messages, lewd phone calls, inappropriate happy ending jokes, inappropriate messages about happy endings and blowjobs. And it's just taken us back as a profession.
We've just worked so hard at our professions in desexualizing our profession that's had this stigma to it for so many years. And we feel like it's just really setting people back. And it just is, it gets upsetting. It gets upsetting when you've spent so many years being as good as you are at something to just be torn down again. You know, the worst part about it is I have, you know, just a lot of really good friends that are really good therapists that are just, they just don't want to deal with it. And so they're leaving their massage therapy career because of this ordinance.
The ordinance itself puts massage therapists in danger by treating massage as if it is a sexually oriented business.
When an ordinance for professional licensing states that we have to wear clothes, that lumps us in to sex trafficking and sex work.
When you read the ordinance, or when you read anything about the ordinance, such as the headline in the Billings Gazette, "No more happy endings at massage parlors in Billings," that very much puts the idea in people's heads that sex is sold in massage businesses. It's dangerous for massage therapists to have people looking for sex. It's very dangerous. Most of us work alone. Most of us work into the evening. That's a dangerous position to put us in. When the article came out in the Billings Gazette, the very next day, I had a man show up at my office looking for sex. The last time I had anyone looking for sex come to my office or make a phone call to my office was 4 years ago.
I have had 2 this week, and then several people who have called for appointments that think that it's funny to make jokes about it. I have not had any of these calls for probably about 6 years.
There has been an increase of calls from suspicious men.
I myself and many other therapists in our office have gotten increased calls and requests for appointments that you can tell by what they're asking, that they are asking for something rather than therapeutic, more of a sexual nature. Before this council meeting that really ramped up the attention of the ordinance, it had been years since I had had any sort of an incident or, getting somebody in the office, a new client that was indicating that anything of a sexual nature had been a really long time, years.
Since this ordinance has started, I've gotten more text messages on, hey, can I have a happy ending? Hey, do you have massage? I know a therapist who had a gentleman who had an erection on the table, and it was a deliberate act. It's made it worse. This has made it so much worse. Even my friends, people I know, joke about it more than they used to. And you can't talk about it.
It puts massage therapists in danger when people relate massage to sexually oriented businesses.
In addition to the danger presented by tying massage to sex, another safety issue is a provision in the city ordinance that requires that doors be unlocked during business hours. This provision was a concern for every single massage therapist we interviewed.
My office is located on a busy intersection. We have had people enter our office high on drugs, wanting to use the phone, use our restroom. It's not safe for us. We have to have the door locked. When I have that door shut in my office, my client is vulnerable on the table. Our backs are turned. We don't even know if someone's coming in. There's huge risk for us to be hurt.
We're downtown and there is an issue with homeless population. I have had a homeless person try to come in and shoot up in our restroom.
I have spoken with a lot of my clients about the possibility of having to leave my doors unlocked. I would lose my business because my clients would not come back to me. Not one of them, male or female, feels safe being undressed on a table with the possibility of anybody walking in on us.
I've had many clients say that they will not come in if I cannot lock the door when nobody is out front.
There is an exemption. If one person is working alone in the facility and the business only has one owner, then they can lock the doors. But if the business has two owners and a person is working alone in the facility, they're out of luck. They have to unlock those doors.
There's other businesses that have more than one therapist on the premises. And if there's no receptionist to be able to basically block people from coming in, their safety is at risk as well.
And not being able to keep our front door locked is a safety issue for us. And being able to afford to get a front desk person is probably not in the cards.
If my receptionist is sick for the day, is that going to mean that we can't take any clients, or does that mean we have to leave the front door open, unlocked, and then that vulnerability, we could have theft. I have a cash drawer up front, if that is unattended, what could happen?
The city administrator can grant exceptions to this rule. But the problem with that is that all the massage therapists we talk to would need that exemption. So how do you grant it to some, meaning those who are legally practicing, and not grant it to those who are doing illicit activities? We don't think that you can do that in a way that's non-discriminatory, and that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen. There are so many things wrong with the language of the ordinance that we've prepared a second video. There are implementation problems as well.
I checked with the city business license administration, and they sent me an email saying that not a single other city business license requires background checks or fingerprinting.
For the city to require anything more of massage therapists than they do for any other business is discrimination. I believe that massage therapists would have grounds for a lawsuit because the city of Billings is attempting to discriminate against massage therapists and the business of massage therapy.
What worries me is the fees down the road. The first year, the city council had stated that our fees would be $25. And then the second year, it would go up to the amount that would match the business license fees, being that there is no enforcement money or enough officers that they're going to come back and charge us for the enforcement of this ordinance. I'm seeing in other cities that they've started with low massage establishment fees and they've gotten upwards of $200, $300, $400, $500, even up to $2,000.
Jennifer is talking about San Francisco and Atlanta, two cities that the city of Billings used to craft their ordinance. In San Francisco, renewal for an establishment license is over $2,800, and in Atlanta, it's $2,000.
And most massage therapists can't afford that. I can't afford that.
The first that I heard of this ordinance, the ordinance was already written. The ordinance was given to us to look at. It was horrible then, and it's as horrible, if not more so now.
They brought it forward to the massage therapy community that they contacted, but no massage therapist was on board in putting the language together and drafting this ordinance.
Since the beginning, it's been really apparent that they had their agenda and the direction they wanted to go with this, and they were not going to listen to our feedback whatsoever. And they really hadn't. Even since then, the multiple times of us trying to speak with them, even about verbiage, it just really, it was like falling on deaf ears. There was nothing.
I was a part of the city council meeting where it was voted in. We were not represented properly and did not have the same platform offered to the ones who wished to push this through.
Originally, when I first found out about it, it was kind of last minute. That I found out about the first open meeting that they were allowing us to come speak. But even when we came to that, we were told that we should just take one for the team.
Would the city of Billings and the other people that were there, would they ever be comfortable saying to a group of men, can't you guys just take one for the team? That was directed at women.
To better understand this discriminatory treatment, let's meet Joe the plumber. If a theft ring disguises themselves as plumbers, do we call them a plumbing ring? An illicit plumbing business? We don't. They're a theft ring. The term illicit massage conflates massage with sex, so the term is offensive to massage therapists. The term was coined by an anti-trafficking group called Polaris, which shows you just how little regard these anti-trafficking groups have for our industry. But back to our plumbers. And do we tell them to wear clothes or that they have to be physically present in the office to be open for business? We don't. Or does the city take the cheap way out and decide to put a whole bunch of regulations that are harmful to plumbers on plumbers because they don't have enough money for law enforcement to deal with these crimes? They don't. And yet that is exactly what they're doing to massage therapists. Human trafficking is a societal problem and should be dealt with by society, not blaming it on one profession. The city used ordinances from around the country to develop the proposal. First, what they didn't do was research the effect that these ordinances had on trafficking. It didn't stop trafficking. It only moved it out of the city limits. So if these groups really want to actually stop trafficking, they have to think of something better, like stop the demands, because if there are no sex buyers, there will be no sex trafficking. And secondly, these ordinances are pushed by Polaris, an anti-trafficking group. Polaris wrote their definitive report on the issue of massage establishment licensing in 2018, but had been pushing that philosophy long before that. Like what's happening locally, this national group is pushing an agenda on an industry without any input from that industry's leaders. That's right. The National Massage Therapy membership organizations did not participate in the writing of the report. And many of the provisions that are in this local proposal come right out of that 2018 playbook. If you want to regulate an industry to get at the criminals that have hijacked that industry, don't you think that you'd want to have that industry be a part of the solution? Well, massage therapists are not represented nationally, and we're not being represented on this issue locally. So basically, what you have is a bunch of people who know nothing about massage therapy and our business practices trying to regulate it. And in doing so, they're harming that profession. Then on top of that, Councilwoman Ronning has misled everyone multiple times about the American Massage Therapy Association's involvement in the ordinance. So much so that after she did it the first time at the 2019 stakeholders meeting where she met with massage therapists, I asked both national organizations to rewrite their letters with more clarity. And after they issued those letters, Ms. Ronning did it again at the council work session. Both national massage therapy membership organizations unequivocally oppose establishment licensure. And here's what they said. The ABMP came back in their second letter and said, we're against the ordinance, and the issue of human trafficking should not be taken on by the massage therapy team at all. And the ABMP went on to say that the city is not treating massage therapists like other healthcare providers. The American Massage Therapy Association, the group that Ms. Ronning said redlined the bill, their second letter echoed the theme about healthcare providers, that we're not being treated like healthcare providers. In their letter, they particularly condemned the language in the ordinance as demeaning and suggestive, and pointed out that these ordinances simply don't work because the ordinance provides an avenue for the activity you are trying to curb to continue to operate. Basically, the AMTA is saying what we've been saying all along. If you regulate massage establishments, you're giving traffickers a home in the massage industry, which endangers massage therapists. Just like the national groups, we've been providing feedback, but not to tell the city about what they need to fix, because we oppose the proposal. We've been providing feedback to first tell them how loopholes will occur and that the bill won't work because of the loopholes. And number two, how if you try to fix the loopholes, you'll end up harming legally practicing massage therapists and bodywork practitioners. Two tactics: misrepresenting massage therapist viewpoints and saying that we don't know what we're talking about, that we don't know about our profession and the impact on our profession but that the ordinance will have, is also being used by Ms. Ronning and the anti-trafficking groups.
There was a meeting where several of us massage therapists met up with a couple of people that were in favor of this ordinance and worked directly with the sex trafficking task force. There was a lot of good takeaways from this meeting on both sides. But in the end of that, it was portrayed that we therapists that met with them were in favor of this ordinance and that we completely understood where they were coming from and agreed with them. That is not the case.
And while the proponents say that there are massage therapists that support the ordinance, we haven't been able to find any. We started to poll all the massage therapists on the licensee list from the state, and these are the results so far. Stay tuned to this space as more information becomes available.
It does. It feels like a slap in the face when you're being told that you don't know. You just don't know any better. When we're the ones that are having to deal with it 24/7 with calls coming in, people trying to, find out what our special prices are and all of those things. Like, I've learned to have to deal with that and weed those people out, but then to be told that you're just a part of the problem, again, or uneducated and you don't know, when really I feel like out of anybody, massage therapists should know.
Don't try to make it sound like it's going to be okay and this is great for everybody, and it's not.
Not supporting this ordinance does not mean we are okay with forced prostitution or trafficking, and trying to shame us into submission is manipulation and bullying.
Pinning Ronning has as much as said, if massage therapists are against this Billings City ordinance, we are for prostitution and human trafficking. Nothing could be further from the truth.
This is just one of many examples of how this rhetoric has gotten out of hand.
No one.
No one.
No one.
No one.
No one.
No one.
No one is for human trafficking.
We get it. We understand that temperatures are running hot. On one side, you have a group of women who want to end human trafficking at any cost. And on the other, you have the people that it will cost dearly. You're messing with their living. And we think that there's a better solution. We think that there's a better way to go.
It's the sexually oriented businesses that are not following the law. So the rewrite is aimed at those businesses and not at massage therapists or any other business.
First of all, the city's ordinance regulates or criminalizes the behavior of over 250 licensed massage therapists and an undetermined number of bodywork practitioners. Even though it's a business license, it's regulating the behavior of individual therapists in addition to the business activities. And many therapists are the business because they are sole proprietors. Basically, the city's ordinance goes through legally practicing therapists and their businesses to get to, at most, 10.8% of the entire trafficking problem. So we're spending all this energy on the ordinance to affect a very small part of the trafficking problem. It makes more sense to us to actually regulate in such a way that you're affecting a bigger slice of the problem. But since the city is determined to just focus on this slice, we're proposing a better solution that doesn't go through legally practicing therapists to get to the traffickers. A few legally practicing therapists may be subject to the inspection, but it bypasses the majority of them, and it doesn't criminalize their behavior in the process. What the city ordinance is telling massage therapists is, don't be like a trafficker. Whereas what the rewrite is saying to traffickers is, don't pretend to be a massage therapy business or a bodywork business or any other business for that matter. So we're trying to very specifically target the traffickers, not all massage therapists. And we do that by regulating them as a sexually oriented business. Now, the anti-trafficking groups took issue with this. They actually stood up for the sexually oriented businesses. Can you believe it? And what we told them is the city ordinance treats us like sexually oriented businesses. It treats us and traffickers as sexually oriented businesses already. So all we're doing is saying, stop treating us like a sexually oriented business and instead treat the traffickers like a sexually oriented business. The city's ordinance criminalizes behaviors that we've categorized as external to the business, meaning those that are observable from outside the actual premises, and it criminalizes those activities inside the business. The problem with the ordinance as it currently is written is that it also bans or restricts things that are part of the legal practice of massage therapy. This compromises our safety and interferes with how we conduct our business because we have to follow the law too. Because if we don't and someone files a malicious complaint, we get in trouble too. On the other hand, the rewritten ordinance doesn't generally affect the legal practice of massage and bodywork. Instead of criminalizing the external behaviors, those become things that can trigger an inspection. They include the same things that are in the city's proposal, but we've added to them and we've strengthened the provisions on advertising. It's inside the business where most of the difference occurs between those who are legally practicing and the criminal activities. But there are some things that legally practicing therapists do inside the business. So instead of criminalizing certain internal behaviors, those become indicators that determine whether a business is really a sexually oriented business. And they're penalized for pretending to be something else. In the language, we also include a may there so that some discretion may be used and those legally practicing can defend themselves. We include all the same things here that are in the city's ordinance, plus we add some to make it even stronger. And we leave out the provisions referring to massage because we prohibit any sexually oriented business from providing massage therapy. We have the same inspection scheme, so if the success of the ordinance hinges on that, the massage therapy rewrite will have the same success rate or failure rate as the city's version. And we include the same punishments. We do it in a way so that these illegal businesses are in violation of the sexually oriented business laws, not massage therapy laws, because these businesses have nothing to do with massage therapy. It eliminates all the loopholes that can be exploited in the city's version, and it stops these businesses from finding another business in which to hide. Instead of the city having to amend and come up with specific use cases to stop the traffickers from hiding in nail salons, beauty shops, and modeling studios and elsewhere, the rewrite takes care of all that. We think it's a better solution than what's on the table right now. So let's go through a couple of criticisms of the massage therapy rewrite. The first one is, well, you're adding a term, erotic parlor, which is used to describe trafficking businesses, and you're putting it in a legal industry, sexually oriented businesses. Our answer to that is all we're doing is retaining the term from the city's version. It also describes another type of sexually oriented business because it entices clients through advertising or other business practices directed towards sexual desires, lusts, or passions. All of those things are perfectly legal. And the second issue is that the anti-trafficking people are saying that we're hypocritical because we're putting human trafficking, which is a criminal activity, inside of a lawful industry, meaning sexually oriented businesses. Well, massage therapists can say that these anti-trafficking groups are doing the same thing to them. So we'll admit right off the bat that yes, we are. But there is a big difference. What the anti-trafficking groups are doing to massage therapy is conflating criminal sex with a non-sexual industry. What we decided to do with the rewrite was box in this criminal activity into the closest industry it represents. When you walk into these criminal businesses, the women are scantily clothed or topless or bottomless. That is perfectly legal behavior in a sexually oriented business. That's not behavior in a professional massage therapy business. So we're boxing them in so they can't hijack other industries, which is unlike the city ordinance. It either allows them to hijack other industries or it allows them to hide better in the massage industry. And the massage therapy rewrite discourages this. We're not giving them a legal haven. All activity that is already illegal is still illegal, whether it's happening in the context of a sexually oriented business or not. Another criticism of the ordinance is that there aren't enough violations to properly shut them down. We disagree. All it really takes is one, but the rewrite includes several violations. First, misclassification of a sexually oriented business. Also, providing massage therapy in a sexually oriented business, plus there are other violations. Truth be told, Councilwoman Ronning on a Facebook post claimed that a woman in a B-den can make $18,000 per month. So fines in either version of the ordinance won't make much difference. It's the revocation of the establishment license that will, along with the declaration of these businesses as a public nuisance. And yet another criticism is that it doesn't keep track of the owners or expose shell companies. Well, that's not needed anymore because the Corporate Transparency Act passed in January of 2021, and regular business licensing does keep track of the owners. Our point here is this proposal is just as viable as what the city is proposing, but it doesn't go through massage therapists to do it.
I support the massage therapist rewrite.
And we hope you will too. Please contact your local council member. And thanks for watching.